Okay, today I'm going to be working on Atlas doing some lateral flexion and then desensitizing from the fence. So I've just picked up gently on the lead rope here, and then he gave a nice little lateral flexion and I let go. I'm going to ask again here. There he gave again. You could see his nose move slightly toward me and I let go immediately. I'm not going to ask for a lot, just a little bit. I'm going to hold here. He's going to move his feet. I'm going to ignore it. There, he turns his nose a little bit toward me and I'm going to let go immediately. So I'm going to ignore everything else that it is that I don't want, which is the feet moving around. And I'm going to release and show him what I want is the nose coming toward me. So I'm going to release that and show him, yes, that's the correct answer. So again, same thing. He thinks the feet are part of it. I'm just holding it and being like, nope, that's not the answer. And he likes to kind of move his front end toward me. I think it's more just like a habit for him, so I'm just kind of trying to ignore it and not reward it as much. Okay, so I clicked him for this. I could have waited a little bit there until his feet were a bit more still to click and reward, just so we're working on that a little bit better. But that would where I would start adding that in, so that looked really nice. So I could click and reward him there. That was much better timing on my part, because he kept his feet still, so that looked good. I'm just kind of rubbing him with a rope in between here, letting him eat his treat. If he wants to move around, that's fine. I'm just going to hang out and follow him. I'm just moving him back over so I can see him on the camera. So I'm just lifting up. I'm asking him to touch my hand and target and kind of make the exercise a bit clearer to him. And he understood that pretty well because he already knows what the hand target is. But he still has that habit of wanting to come and push into me. And he's not doing it because he's bad. He just thinks that's part of what I want. He thinks he should be close to me, and I'm just gonna I put him back, and then I'm just gonna ignore him when I've asked him to do the lateral flexion. I'm gonna put him back where he was. So he does know how to move off my hands, but see, he just wants to step right back in every time. So we really need to work on just some space between us, because me picking up on the lead rope, like, that was a nice lateral flexion, but he thought, okay, I also need to move my shoulders into her, which would be great steering, but I don't want that right now. I want to make sure I have that flexion, and I want to make sure I have that control first. That was really nice. So I clicked that, and then I'm just picking those better moments and saying, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. I mean, and you can set it up a bunch of different ways. But right now I'm just clicking for the better moments and just ignoring the rest and just kind of replacing his shoulders gently back where I would like them. This was better. Not as much movement with the shoulders, but still some steps. So just asking, and there we go. So I'm clicking when his nose comes toward me and it's moving toward me. I also release at the same time, and then I feed, because I'm clicking during the time that he's doing the behavior I want. So we had a few good repetitions on that side. I'm going to do the right side. So I just hold up my hand to target, and he picked that up right away. So really, watching this back, I probably should have started with the target, and that would have just been clear. Like, he understands it really well here. So he does it again, and that would have just made the whole situation more clear. And he has definitely more of a habit of pushing his shoulders over on that left side. And I kind of accidentally trained that. I think when I was halter training him, like teaching him to put the halter on, it got mixed into my training there. So it is important to not punish him or chase him or scare him, especially Atlas. Like, he needs that confidence. And it really, for any horse, it's not going to do you any good. So you're just going to scare them and destroy that trust they have. But he did so much better on the other side. I really should be doing a hand target here. Like, he did really well there. But just because he has that habit on that left side, I should make things a bit clearer for him. So, like I say in all my videos, like, this is a journey and a experiment. So I was just kind of working with what I had. But overall, not too bad. So I'm going to work on a bit of desensitizing above him. I didn't do a whole lot from the mounting block itself. I've done a bit on the fence, and I do a bit more in this video. But he's actually not too bad. You could see in the beginning when I stepped up, he was kind of tilting his head to look at me, but he didn't seem real worried. He's not backing away or showing any signs that he's worried. There, he's lowering his head, he's licking and chewing. So he's kind of going back into a bit more of relaxation. So And I asked him to just take one step up, and he thought, oh, maybe I should lunge around, and that's not exactly what I want. I'm just gonna wait until he stops. And I'm trying to get him to just side pass up toward me, which he does really, really well there. That was excellent. I should have fed that because that was really good. He's really likes doing that. So that's good. I fed this one because he's trying really hard, and I hadn't really practiced side passing toward me specifically on the mounting block, like me standing up on it. I think I might have done it once or twice, like months before. It might be in one of the videos, but I hadn't really, broken it down like I do the rest of the behaviors. So that was really nice. But I'm just kind of getting him used to me kind of going over his back, and like him seeing me in his other eye, him feeling my leg on his side and kind of over his back, and just kind of getting used to that. And it's a little bit easier for me to do that while I'm on the mounting block, because it's big enough and I'm tall enough, and Atlas is short enough that I can swing my leg over and basically sit on him while I still have my weight on the mounting block. So that works out really well. Make sure you have a solid mounting block and a tall enough one, because when you're on the panels, it can be kind of tough because there's a lot more movement. The panel moves. I just feel more steady on the block, and he's kind of leaning into me here, so I'm trying to push him off. I'm not really sure why he's doing that, but as soon as he moved away, I clicked and rewarded him. So he does have that left lean, and we are working on it. This looks nice too. He generalized that really well and just went ahead and came right over. Again, I should have clicked and fed that because, like I said, I hadn't specifically trained that behavior. So again, he's a little confused about this. He hasn't generalized this quite as well. He thought back up, he thought now lunge, and not really all I wanted was just a step forward. So again, I'm just gonna kind of keep asking him that forward movement on the lead rope, and then just releasing as soon as I get even a little bit. So he came forward just a little bit. You can tell he's kind of chewing on the lead rope. He's a little worried about it. This is really nice as well. This one, the behavior is broken down a little bit. He started off well, it kind of got crazy in the middle, and then it's kind of fallen apart now. Again, I need to just break it down. When you see that behavior is not doing well, so if the behavior is breaking down, you should break it down. So by that I mean if he's kind of fallen apart and it's not as good as it once was, or it's not building up to where you want it to be, then let's thin slice it. Let's go back a step and try again. So I should have really gotten off the block and tried that, but he is problem solving quite well. So it's kind of a mix between the two, because you don't want the horse to get frustrated or scared, and you don't want to get frustrated. So there's kind of a thin line there where you kind of, is he in a learning frame of mind where I can kind of keep asking him gently and he can figure it out, or is he gonna start being over threshold and I need to break this down and try something else? So, and he really figured it out, like which I would like to do a bit more with Atlas and build his confidence to be like, oh, you can figure out these problems without getting scared and running away. So that was really nice for him. I probably still should have broken it down a bit and rewarded a bit more. But that looked really good, and so I just clicked him there when I was laying over his withers. That looks really nice. And he's probably 13.3, so this works out really well for him. But yeah, he's doing pretty good there. Once he kind of figured it out, he's like, okay, you just wanted me to step up closer to the block. He just didn't know. So then I'm getting him used to my foot on his side, my foot over his back, just him seeing me out of both eyes, and he's really taking it very well. And he's seen me above him before, but he's really never seen like my leg on the other side. I'll kind of put my arm over him, or he sees that like up above his back when I'm on the fence, but not that full on, like my leg is over him. So that went pretty well. I'm pretty happy with all of that. But we had the building blocks, like I was saying earlier. Like I kind of skipped a couple of those as far as the side pass to me while I'm standing on the mounting block, but as far as mounting, I did not skip any of those. So that worked well. So like for doing a little bit of jumping, desensitizing there, which went really well. But for when you're setting up one of those problems where I'm like, oh, let's see if he can kind of work through it, you gotta be specific on what those are as well. Like you don't want to try to set up a problem that he can solve that's dangerous, or like something with mounting. I don't solve those. I don't try to set him up to solve those, because those are very important and specific and can be dangerous. Like, it's important that you set up a problem that's easy enough that they can solve. So it's not this big, huge problem that they don't have any of the skills to do. It's like they have the skills, they just need to kind of figure it out. So that's also important. But he did really well. He came up to the fence. He wasn't worried when I climbed up it. He looks pretty good. So here I'm just kind of moving my hand around, getting him used to some movement. He does have a bit of a head tilt and like toward me, so he's a little worried about that. He's following me with his ears, but he's doing quite well overall. So the desensitizing from above has definitely helped him, and he's definitely made a lot of progress. I would like his head lower, and just him be a bit more still and relaxed with the whole process. So I do want those things before I actually get on him. But I'm just kind of hanging out with him and petting on him. And now I'll work on a bit more with my leg and just kind of going over his back. And I like to just make sure that he's used to me, you know, kind of bumping him on the side, bumping him on the back, you know, not hard, but like just as it would be an accident when you were getting on. So like there I kind of bumped him on the back and clicked him for that, and that's all the same thing. So I put my foot forward because I wanted him to target, and he was like, oh my gosh, that's terrifying. So not gonna punish him, not gonna chase him. It's not a big deal. He was just a little worried because he saw this object in front of him where I had been behind him, so not a big deal. But it is important to like practice all those things. Like I was talking about before, when you're getting on and you accidentally bump the horse, those are things that I want to work on now before I actually get on him. And then, you know, you don't have to be perfect around the horse. If you accidentally bump him, he's used to that. He's ready for that because that happens. So it's just good training to add those in. So he's, again, really good at the side pass towards. So that looked nice. And then just doing a bit of desensitizing on this right side. Same kind of thing. He seems about the same as far as being relaxed with the whole process on this side. He still has about the same head and neck like level, and he still has an ear on me, which is fine. I want the ear on me. I would like the head and neck a bit more level and not as elevated as it is here. Just a bit more relaxation I would definitely like. So, but that'll come with time too. I'm not going to force him into it. It's just going to be me like noticing that, okay, he seems more relaxed than he usually does. And then you get closer and closer to actually getting on him. So, he kind of wants to lean on me here, but I'm going to desensitize to my leg just like I did on the other side, because you can see he's kind of watching it there. He's not as relaxed. He went to go look at my foot, which is nice, and he stayed relaxed. So he looked at it, and now he's chewing, and he stopped chewing his food that I had given him before, was kind of looking at it, had a moment of tension, and then relaxed. So that is good. And I want him to touch my foot, and then he touched it, and I clicked him, and he kind of scared himself a little bit there, but he did it, and that's what I want. I want him to see my foot, and everything's a target. I want everything to be a target. Everything's interesting. Everything can earn him a reward. So I want to really play that up and make that as important thing for him to really build his confidence. So that looked really nice. It's important to also desensitize the dismount, because sometimes we forget about that. We're like, oh, he was so great with me above him. And then you forget about getting off of him. So I jump off, I make some noise, the panel rattles, and as soon as I hit the ground, I just click and feed, and he did awesome for that. So that looks great. Same with going up, like getting up and getting down is very important. Those are the scary parts too. So we want to make sure all the pieces are working, and he was looking really good so far.